Hello, welcome to GED exam preparation class. I am your host and instructor, Ruben Herrera. And on this lesson, we're going to learn how to divide polynomials or also, well, algebraic terms. So let us look at our first example in here. This is how on your GED exam, your division is going to be represented, sort of like in a form of a fraction. So the way we're going to solve for this, my friends, we're going to divide in this direction. We're going to see first how many times that 2 goes into the 4, and then how many times that 2 will go into that 30. And then we're just going to move our variable down. Okay, for example, right here, that 2 goes into the 4 2 times, and then we just move down the y, move it along. And then the 2 goes into the 30 15 times. Okay, so this, my friends, and then we're gonna also just move our symbol right here, the plus, and this, my friends, is the answer to this division. Very nice and very simple. Let us look at our next example. I have right here 14x plus 21, okay, and it's going to be divided by 7. So we're going to divide first, or see how many times the 7 goes into the 14, which is 2. The x will just move it down, we just move it over, and then the 7 goes into the 21 3 times. So therefore, this is going to be my answer to this division, 2x plus 3, and we move down the same symbol that we have in here. Okay, remember, my friends, like on multiplication of algebraic terms, the rule of like terms do not apply here. So the terms, in order to be multiply or divide for this matter, they do not have to be like terms. Okay, let us look at our next example. So now it looks like I have a negative symbol in here. Not to worry about, my friends. We're just going to move this negative symbol over, okay? So for example, right here, the 4 goes into the 4 one time. We're going to move the 8 over. And then the 4 goes into the 25 times. So whenever we write our answer, it is very simple to, for example, write right here the number 1, because the 4 goes into the 4 one time. The a, we just move it over, and then the 4 goes into the 25 times. However, remember, my friends, that in modern algebra, we do not write the number 1 next to a variable. So it'll be just an a minus 5, and that will be the answer to this division, my friends. Okay, let us look at some other different examples right here. So now I have the 2y plus 30z that is going to be divided by 2. So we're going to do the same thing. Even though we have a variable right here on this term, we're just going to move the variable over. Okay, so for example, right here, the 2 goes into the 2 one time, and the 2 goes into the 30 15 times. So therefore, the answer of this division is going to be y, okay, which in theory, there is an invisible 1 in here, but we no longer write it. Okay, and then plus, this is my plus in here, and then the 2 goes into the 30 15 times, and then we're going to move over the z. And this, my friends, will be the answer to this division. Okay, let us look at our next example. Now, Houston, we have a problem. Look at this. So this 32 indeed can go inside of the 48, but not without having remainers. So what do we do? So the 32 will go into this 32, no problem, but it will go into the 48, but we will have remainers. And we cannot have remainers whenever we are dividing algebraic terms. So what we're going to do, my friends, instead of dividing, we're going to have to reduce. We're going to have to take this part of this fraction, okay, and we're going to do something like this: 48, okay, excuse my numbers, okay, divided by 32, or 48 over 32, and then I'm going to reduce this fraction as much as I can. Look at these ugly numbers, oh my god. So I'm going to reduce this fraction until I cannot reduce anymore. So this will be equals to something of 3 over 2. Okay, so therefore, the way I'm going to write my answer for this division, because I have to reduce and instead of divide, really, it's going to be 3x over 2. Okay, 3 over 2, just like this. The x comes along for the right, and then plus the 32 goes inside of the 32 one time and move the y along. So we should have a 1 right here, but in theory, remember my friends that we do not write the 1 next to the variable. So therefore, the answer will be of this division will be only 3x over 2 plus y. Okay, very nice. So remember my friends, whenever the numbers will not go inside of the, whenever the number will not go inside of the other, uh, without remainers, we have to uh, reduce. We need to take that part of the fraction and we need to reduce that fraction to the lowest possible terms or to the lowest common denominator. Let us look at our last example right here. Notice that I have right here the 12 cannot be divisible by the 9. It will, and also it will go into the 15, but not without having remainers. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this part right here of this fraction and then reduce it until I cannot reduce it anymore. And then I'm going to do the same thing in here. I'm going to take this part of this fraction again and reduce it until I cannot reduce anymore. I'm going to bring the variables and the subtraction symbol along for the right. I'm just going to move him over, and this is going to be equals to 3a over 4 minus 5b over 4. Okay, so and the reason why I don't do this long line and just use 1 4, that's because the rule explains that, or the rule is whenever I have to reduce, okay, and instead of dividing to solve for a division of algebraic terms, I have to write them on I have to write my answer on separate fractions. So yeah, so what can say I can just do this long right here and just put a 4 in here, but that will not work, my friends. I have to write the two separate fractions because instead of dividing, I'd have to reduce these terms right here to the lowest common denominator. And this is, my friends, this is how we divide algebraic terms, in other words, polynomials. I hope that you like this lesson. I hope that you enjoy it and learn from it. And thank you very much again for being here. I hope that you guys have a great day, and bye-bye.